everybody, this is Strategywizard again, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Camel Up. This is the second edition. It's a game designed by Steffen, Bogen, published by Eggert, Spiele. Its age is 8 and up, so this is definitely a family weight game. 3 to 8 players, so it goes up really high, and really you can play it with 2. I'm not sure why they say 3. 2 is doable. I mean, don't get me wrong, 3 is more fun, but there's a lot of games where more is better, so I'm not sure why they don't say you can play with 2. I think you can, but that being said, they say it's 30 minutes long. That's probably about right. I mean, it's a pretty quick game, really. So this is a betting racing game. You're betting on camels who are racing around this track. There's some crazy camels who are going the wrong direction, who are adding some chaos to this. And this is a game that, honestly, I have heard so much about this. And you know, people saying it's such a good game, and I'm just going to be honest. I mean, the first edition especially, just the artwork didn't call out to me, and it just didn't look like it'd be that great. So I was like, I don't know about that. Well, the second edition came out, and my son expressed some interest whenever I watched a video that showed some of it, and I guess probably this wonderful little pop-up palm tree probably influenced him a little bit, but he was excited about it, and I thought, you know what, I've heard a lot of good things. He's interested. Let's just go ahead and go out on a limb and try it out. So this is my first time playing it. Never played the first edition. I'm going to go ahead and go right into how to play, and then I'll let you know what I think at the end. Okay, here I have the game set up for 4 players, which are all over here. The game board setup is very quick and simple thanks to an absolutely wonderful insert, which I'll reach and just show it to you real quick. I mean, this insert's amazing. I mean, it shows you what goes where, even as a little picture of the camels and time, how many. This shows 50 coins. This shows 5 of these tokens here. It tells you how many of what shape thing goes where, and it's just so useful. So setting up this is very quick and easy. It has this nice pop-up palm tree, which is really cool. You just put all your betting tickets here. You put the camels here based on rolling the dice that decides where they all start. You have some money tokens right here. Everyone gets cards and the character that they choose. Not that the character matters. It's just it's just cosmetic. Everyone gets the cards, and they get a spectator token for their character, and the youngest player will get the first player token. Now, at this point, we're ready to start this race, which basically the goal of the game is to have the most money at the end. And getting money basically this is a betting game. You're trying to bet on which camel is going to be at the lead of each round, and then you're trying to bet on the overall winner and overall loser. So this is how it works. These are the actions you can choose. You could roll. Now, this handy-dandy pyramid has the dice inside of it, and it has a cool little mechanism where whenever you push this, a die will be sitting there, which I can't show you because they keep falling. But whenever you push this little thing comes down, the die will fall out. Whenever you let go, basically there's something else in here too that blocks another die from falling in, so you'll never have more than one come out. So let's just say you do this, bam! The red die falls out. It's 2, so the red camel would move 2 spaces. So in this case, red's winning, and for the rest of this round, these little tents, that's basically once there's a die on each tent, the round's over. So 4 more dice will be rolled, so you know that not every camel will move every time, and no camel will move more than once per round. So that's the first thing. This is how you get the race going. You roll the die, and you would think, oh, that's not a great action because you don't really get anything for it. Well, that's not true. You get one of these coins. So you get this pyramid token to show that every time that you roll, so it's a guaranteed way to get a little money. It also serves for another purpose, which is helping people whenever you roll and you start eliminating possibilities and you see where it's going. It helps you decide who you want to bet on, which is the next action that we'll talk about, is choosing a betting token. So let's just roll a few more. Let's say some people have been rolling and taking these tokens. So yellow moves 2. Now here's an interesting example. Yellow is on the bottom here, underneath green and purple. So if yellow moves 2, he carries everyone else on top of him. And so let's say if blue had moved on top of him, he'd be moving with him as well. So that's really important for helping you figure out who's going to be in the lead, because whoever's on the top of the stack is at the lead of that stack. So right now, red is number 1, purple is second place, then green, then yellow, then blue. Black and white, they're crazy camels. They don't have a clue what's going on. They're going the wrong direction. They're in the race in the sense that they're participating, but they cannot win. The judges have disqualified them, but they can affect what happens, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's just say you keep rolling, and you say, oh, okay, purple moves 1, so he hops off, jumps on red. Now there's only 2 more to go. People might, at this point, you might think, green could go, but green, if they do, they're guaranteed to be ahead, because even if they move just 1, they're still going to be in the lead. However, blue could possibly roll and get a 3. Now these dice, 3 is the maximum. There's 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 3s as far as the sides of the dice. So blue has a decent chance of getting a 3 because there's 2 sides. So let's just say if he got really lucky, moved on top, and then green moved as the last thing, then blue would win. So you have to decide who you think is going to win, because these betting tokens, that's the next action. Let's just say at this point someone says, you know what, blues may not even go because these guys might go instead. I'm going to bet that green's going to win, that green's going to be one of the 2 that moves, and he's going to be in the lead. So you can, as an action, you can take the betting token. The first person who takes a token of a particular color gets the most powerful, which means if the camel of this color is number 1, notice what this means. If he's in the lead, you're going to get 5 gold at the end of this round. If he's second place, you'll only get 1 coin, but if he's at 3rd, 4th, or 5th, you will actually lose a coin. So you have to be careful who you bet. You don't want to bet too soon and take too much of a risk if you can help it. So in this particular case, someone might say, I think green's going to get it. So they would take that and put it in front of themselves. Someone else might go, you know what, I think purple's going to make it. Green's not even going to move, I bet, and blue won't be able to make it. So let's say purple. So someone takes purple, and other people might follow suit, and as you go down, they get less valuable. Now, if green's in the lead, you'll only get 3 coins. It's still 1 for second and -1 for everything else. And then someone else might take another green, and the last 2 are always just a 2 in the lead, and then 1 and -1. So they get less and less valuable as you go along. Someone says, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and roll again. We got to see where it's going. Ooh, wow, blue moves up 2. Okay, so that's a good sign for the people who've been betting for green. They'll take this, and then the last person might go, oh, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Let's just go ahead and see what happens. Well, looky there. Green gets 1, 2, 3. Green is in the lead. So now, since all the tents are filled up, there's only 1 die left. And that die does not get rolled, but I'm going to show you just so you understand how this works. The other die is the gray and black die, which moves the crazy camels. Now, there's white numbers and there's black numbers. The white numbers, if you roll white numbers, you move the white camel. If you roll black numbers, the black camel moves. But there are some other rules that affect this. For example, even if you rolled black, if white actually has other camels on top of it, or if white is on top of black, white would move anyway. But generally speaking, the color decides who moves. So after this is over, you will not have rolled this. This would still be inside the pyramid. Everyone's going to go ahead and do end round scoring. And what they're going to do is they're going to tally up all the coins they got from these little pyramid tokens. They get those coins, which we'll grab from over here in our little pots, which I'm using my little Board Game Geek bit holders to hold them, because they're very slick and loose, so these could slide all over the place if you're not careful. Yeah, but everyone will get their money in 1s and 5s. Oh, I should mention, everybody actually has 3 of these coins at the start of the game, and the reason why is because since you can actually lose money if you make a bad bet, you need to have money to lose. So everyone actually starts off with 3 coins also. I forgot to mention that, but basically, you're going to find out how did you do on all your betting tickets. One person could have 3 green if he was so lucky to have grabbed them before everyone else, and they'll just tally up all the stuff they won. In this case, if whoever had, let's just say one person had both of these and green won, bam, they just got 8 money just because green was in the lead. So the betting tickets is a great way to make a lot of money really fast. Rolling the dice gives you a guaranteed money, but it's not much. Making the bets is where the real money is, but it's risky sometimes. Then let's go ahead and put the dice back in. We're ready to start the next round. So everyone puts these tokens back. We refill the pyramid with all these wonderful little dice. Shake it up a little bit, and you're ready to start the next round. Now, I haven't mentioned the other two actions that you can do. So let's go ahead and cover those. What you can do, you can take a spectator token. It has two sides, a booing side with a -1 and a cheering side with a +1. You can place it on the board in an empty space that's not next to someone else's spectator token. So let's just say I put mine here, or someone put theirs here with a +1. If, let's say we roll, purple moves 1 and they land on it. That +1, you're cheering them on, they actually move one more space. So you can use this to help move, hopefully get certain camels farther ahead, or if you did the booing side, make certain camels fall back and not do so well. And not only does it affect their movement, but it also gives you a coin for every camel that round that lands on it. You'll get 1 coin. Now you can put this, you can place this here, but you could but later you can move it as your action. So once it's there, you don't have to just leave it there. You could move it later if you decide that maybe it needs to be somewhere else. And it's also a good stalling mechanism if you're hesitant to roll. Because every time you roll, you're increasing the information for the next players. The next players are going to see who moves, and they're going to go, oh man, now this person looks like they're more likely to win. So if you're hesitant to give that information to the next player in line, then you might place and move your spectator token around just to buy you time. Because once people start getting really confident of who's going to win the round, those betting tickets go fast. They don't last long. So that's the third action. So let's just go back over this. You can roll a die, which will get you a coin, move a camel. You can take the betting ticket so that you can try to make some money, hopefully, but you might lose if you're didn't make a good choice or a good bet. You can place your spectator token to influence possibly camels in the race. The last thing that you can do is use your cards, and you'll notice everyone has the exact same thing. Your character is here, but the colors are all the same. You have a yellow, a green, a blue, purple, a blue, and a red. And basically, what you'll do is you might say, I want to bet that green is going to be the overall winner of the race. So you would take your green card. You won't say that out loud. You'll be thinking that. And you'll take it, and you'll put it over here in this stack, face down. So no one knows what you bet, but they know that you think you know who the overall winner is going to be. Someone else might come along and think, you know what? Blue is going to lose, and put face down over here. Someone else might come along, and let's say the race has changed, different people are moving along, and someone says, no, blue's going to win, and they put blue over here. And so as the game's going on, you're trying to figure out when to place those bets. And the reason why that's important is because in either case, whoever is the first person, because you're going to flip this over at the end, like this, and you'll go through seeing who bet on what. And as you go through, the first person who got it right, let's say green was right, and green won the overall race, which happens whenever they cross all the way around, then whenever they win, this person would get 8 coins for being the first person to get it right. This person would actually lose a coin. Every time you give a wrong color as the answer, you lose a coin. But any other person, the second person to have guessed correctly, let's say this guy had guessed green next, will get 5 coins, and then the next person would get 3 coins, then 2, then 1. So the faster that you can put down the correct answer, the better. It's just, sometimes it can be very hard to know what the right answer is, and the same goes for the overall loser. So you can put multiple cards in each stack, but you can never take it back. So in this particular case, this guy right here, I've already put blue over here, but if later I go, you know what? Yellow is going to lose. I can put that on top. I can bet on someone else. It's just that one of those is going to lose me a coin for sure, and both of them might lose me a coin depending on who actually is the ultimate loser. So those are the actions. You're just going to every game is just constantly each person taking a turn. Boom, 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 boom. Someone rolls. Someone takes a betting ticket. Someone places their spectator token. Someone bets on an overall winner or loser until the race is finally complete. Whenever someone passes the finish line, then you just calculate you do one more in-game scoring for any tokens you got for rolling, any betting tickets, and then you do in-game scoring where you just see how many coins everyone gets for those overall winner and loser bets. Now, the only other thing I want to mention is that whenever the crazy camels are moving, let's just say blue had hopped on top of white and purple somehow hopped on top of white, and you roll, let's just see if we can get, there we go. Okay, well, this is a perfect example. So in this case, it's black. Like I said, black would normally move in this case, but since there are actually camels on top of white, white will move, and he'll move 2 spaces, so he can actually start carrying the regular camels the wrong way, and that is one way that they can really mess up the game as far as surprising you. You might think you know something, and sometimes some crazy stuff can happen. And it can also really affect the overall loser, because if they hop on here and white carries them a good way, it could totally change who's actually losing. So that is a very important mechanism to pay attention to as you play this game. But that's enough of that. You know how to play. Let's go back and I will tell you what I think. Okay, so this game, as you can tell, is very luck-driven, which, as you probably can guess from my moniker or my alias, I'm not a big fan of a lot of luck for the most part. I do prefer games that have a lot of strategy. So let's halt a little bit. Let me just say my usual. As far as component quality, amazing. This game has such great component quality. I mean, the pyramid, I've heard people say they like the original, which was like a cardboard pyramid that you put together, and it had a little elastic band that you would pull back. You'd put the pyramid upside down, pull it back, and then it would let a die fall out and lift it up, and you'd see what it was. In my opinion, I've never actually used that, so I can't say 100% for sure, but I think I like this more because, one, you can actually let it fall and roll, which is exciting, and I like the fact that, you know, just cardboard and an elastic band doesn't sound as durable as this nice plastic thing, and it just looks great. The pop-up palm tree is great. The dice have nice, you know, I say they're somewhat rounded corners, and they're all engraved really nicely. They're all great quality dice. The camels are a kind of a chunky plastic that, I don't know, it's not like your typical plastic. I guess maybe just because of the general shape, but they're nice and chunky. They balance well. Really like those a lot. I mean, there's nothing bad I can say about the component quality except for this one thing. The coins are just a little on the slippery side for me. I mean, they're just very slick and not the best in my opinion, but they look good. And functionally, if you have them, you know, in a holder like this, it makes it to where it's not as much of an issue. But if you don't have anything for yourself, you could have a bunch of mess going around and pieces flying. But that's a minor issue. Overall, the component quality is amazing. As far as the replayability, this game has a lot of replayability in the sense that the betting is always exciting. Every player's turn is interesting to you. You're wanting to see them, if they roll the die, you want to see what comes up because you want to know if it's going to help you decide if you want a betting ticket. And if they take a betting ticket, then it makes you go, oh no, did they take what you wanted, or are they betting on something that maybe you weren't expecting, and you think, maybe I should be betting that way, and maybe it makes you rethink what's likely to win that round, because I'll tell you, there are some surprises that can happen in this game. I mean, you'll be moving along, and you'll think, oh, I know this guy's going to win, and something crazy will happen that will blow your mind, and you'll go, how in the world did he not win that round? So there's crazy stuff going on. You're interested in every person's action, and it's that gambling aspect, that betting. There's just tons of replayability here for that reason. I mean, because you're always, it's kind of like, it has that poker effect where you're constantly bluffing and bidding and, you know, trying to do whatever, but it adds this element of randomness that everyone is just watching this thing, this race as it's going along, and I don't know, I guess this must be what people who watch horse races and stuff like that feel like. I mean, I've never watched one in real life, but this, whenever I'm watching it, I'm excited to see what's going to happen, and it's interesting every time. So, plenty of replayability. Strategy, not a lot. I mean, there is some, because you're having to make some decisions. Like, do I put my spectator token somewhere, and where do I put it? Do I take a betting token now, and who do I bet on? But for the most part, any of the strategy here is based solely on probabilities. There's 3 more dice that can come out. What are the chances that this one's going to move, and how far will they move? And you're trying to weigh those probabilities, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. You could be almost guaranteed to be right, but something crazy can happen that'll just totally ruin your plans. So there's not a ton of strategy here, but there is some. Like I said, there's decisions to be made. It's just gambling. It's betting. It's taking chances, pushing your luck in a sense. Because sometimes you want to take a betting ticket way early because you want to get that 5 if that one wins. You might end up being wrong, but if you're right, it'll pay off. So there you go. And of course, betting on the overall winner and overall loser, same kind of thing. Do you bet early so you can be the first and get those 8 coins, hopefully, or do you want to wait and try to make sure it's a sure thing? Now, that being said, what do I think? You know what? This game is an easy 10 out of 10 for me, which blows my mind. I can't believe I like it so much. I mean, this game has so little of what I normally like, but what makes this game just shine for me, apart from this wonderful pop-up palm tree, is the fact that whenever the rounds go so fast. I mean, it's just this person rolls, this person takes a betting ticket, this person decides to place their spectator token. I mean, some people might have a tiny bit of analysis paralysis, but there's not much analysis paralysis can happen here. For the most part, you're either rolling, taking a betting ticket, or placing your spectator token, but you don't do that much because you can't play next to someone else's, so there's not a lot of good places to put them. So once 1 or 2 are down, that's the end of that. And then you just move along, and people aren't doing the other actions of betting for the overall winner and loser very often. So most of it is rolling, betting tickets, rolling, betting tickets, and you're just, it's with how fast the game moves, and you see what's going on, and the fact there's so much craziness that can happen, but you also feel good about your bet sometimes. You're like, you know what, I'm going to make this bet, and I really feel good about it. Or sometimes you just want to just take that risk and say, you know what, I really think that this one's going to get lucky. The green's going to somehow jump on ahead. I'm going to place that betting ticket right now, hoping that he ends up winning. And there is a thrill to it that blows my mind. Now, there's another betting game that I have called Colossal Arena, which you may or may not have heard of, by Fantasy Flight Games. And I like that game too, but what makes this one shine, I think, is the fact that in Colossal Arena, you can actually affect who wins, which monster is winning in the battle. Here, the only way you can really affect things yourself is your spectator tokens, but that's not much. You don't have a lot of control there. I mean, you're hoping something lands on it, and you're only going to move it up 1 or back 1, which isn't much. So you can't do a lot to influence it. It's mostly about your timing and when you decide to do whatever action. When do you take that betting token? So I just like that a lot. I really like how everyone, you almost get excited for everybody else. That's what my wife even talked about. Whenever you're playing this game, you can get kind of excited because everybody's wanting to see what happens, and you might even be helping each other, saying, ooh, I bet on that one, because you just get into this excitement and thrill of the race and the gambling aspect. So I don't know, my family, I play this with my wife, my son so many times, and we all really enjoy this game. It's a humongous winner for me, my favorite family weight game by far. I don't have enough good things to say about it, but the one thing that I did not mention is I think if you get up to 6 players and above, you add these new cards called, gosh, I don't even know what they're called. Somehow, it's basically sharing bets. I've never played with that, so I don't really have much to say about it, but just so you know, if you get up to a higher player counts, there's ways to make it to where if everyone else got all the good betting tokens, you can share with them, and that way you don't just miss out. Because if you have a lot of players, there's only 4 of each color, so if it's obvious purple's going to win and everyone else got all the purple betting tokens, you could be totally out of luck. But whenever you have 6+ players, and I guess you could add them in lower if you wanted to, you can make yourself get a little bit of their pot if you want to. So anyway, that is Camel Up 2nd Edition. Such a good game. Such a good game. I could not imagine that I would like this much, but I do, so there you go. And if you watched my top 10 already, then you knew I liked it a lot, but it surprised me whenever I first played it. I couldn't believe how much I liked it. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you like this game? Do you have any questions or comments? I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you enjoy this, give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate that, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Subscribe to see more, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.